Did you know that there are over 200 brands of acoustic guitars out there?
It is pretty incredible how many options there are out there, John. And with prices ranging from $150 to $150,000 for custom and collector models, it's no wonder searching for your dream guitar can feel so overwhelming.
But don't worry everybody, in this video we're going to be breaking it all down so you can find the perfect guitar for your budget.
And we want you to stick around to the end of the video because we're going to share 5 key upgrades to look for that can make all the difference, and one of them could save you time, money, and frustration.
And here's the fun part, at the very end we're going to demo both the most affordable and the most expensive guitar to see if you can hear the difference.
Sweetheart, and be true. Welcome back everybody, I am Jeremy and this is John, and we are brothers of the Chapman family and also owners of the Acoustic Shop in Springfield, Missouri. And you can find us online at theacousticshop.com.
I mean, we're actually stuck in line
We're
right
stuck
now.
online at theacousticshop.com, home of the Dreadnought Guarantee, where we're going to give you a full year to return your guitar if you're not absolutely in love with it.
We'll walk you through the different price ranges for acoustic guitars, from beginner-friendly options as well as the professional-grade instruments. We'll explain to you what to expect at each price level: tone, playability, craftsmanship, and others. And most importantly, we're going to show you how to decide how much to spend based on your goals and your experience.
And like I said earlier, stick around to the end of the video because we're going to give you 5 upgrades and a side-by-side guitar demo of our most affordable and most expensive guitar options. John, let's start out at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. When you read, you begin with ABC. When you sing, do, re, mi. And then when you're buying a guitar, you don't want to invest a lot of money into it. So, this could be for yourself if you're like, I think I want to play guitar, but I'm not sure. And then you get sticker shock when you see some of the prices out there. But there are options out there for either the first-time player or for they're buying for their kid and not sure if they're going to stick with it. So what do you recommend here?
Well, again, let's talk about the price range here. This is going to be the $150 to $500 range, and I know that's pretty broad, and for some of you, that's going to sound crazy expensive. I wouldn't really recommend. There are options below that $150 line, but man, you're going to have some issues. And even in this, you got to have your expectations set. You got to realize that this is not going to, even at the $500 price range, this is probably not going to be your forever instrument.
Now, there are really good options out these days that can be really easy to learn. If you go with something less than that, you probably aren't going to enjoy the instrument long enough to stick with it, because that is the key. It does have some difficult things that you have to learn, and if the instrument is unpleasant to play, you probably won't stick with it, just like a really cheap set of golf clubs.
That's right. So with these instruments, most of them are going to be made out of laminate woods. And what that means, that's just a nicer way to say plywood. And with plywood, there are some great things about using laminates for guitars. There are some advantages. But when it comes to tone and what a guitar sounds like, it's usually not the best choice. When I say laminates, we're talking about 3 or more layers of wood that are cross-grained with glue in between them. They're going to be extremely stiff. It's going to be strong. So that does help us with the durability of those instruments. But again, it's going to leave it to not flex as much. And when we're talking about acoustic instruments, we're trying to create sound waves. And that means movement of these instruments. The woods have to move to create the sound waves that we hear. And a solid piece of wood is going to do that much better than an all laminate.
Now, pro tip, I would recommend, if you can, stretch your budget a little bit into the next price range. And that, I know that sounds salesy, but we've all experienced that. If you buy the least expensive VCR, do they still make those? The least expensive TV, the least expensive golf clubs, that you're giving up some quality. I know, I'm aging myself there a little bit. But if your cassette tape player is one of those old ones that's going to
so much noise, it's going to eat your cassette, it's a bad deal.
My point, John, is if you go with the cheapest option, you are sacrificing a lot. If you can stretch yourself up to just that next level, you're going to see a lot of improvement. And let's talk about a little bit of that next price range.
So to piggyback off of what you just said, when we step up into a nicer quality instrument, this is all about keeping yourself motivated. And there are 3 key categories, in my opinion, when buying a first guitar that keeps somebody motivated. Playability, how well that it is to press the strings down, how hard it is. If it's uncomfortable, hurts your fingers, you're not going to want to do it. Number 2, how does it sound? If this instrument does not sound the way even you as a beginner expect it to sound, you are more apt to give up on it. It's an excuse to go, man, if I only had a better guitar, I'd be doing a whole lot better right now. And then the third is the quality, the look of it, all of those, the feels you get
pride.
when you have a high quality instrument. You open the case, you're proud of it every single time you want to practice, and that is an important factor.
And it's something you can get into in this next price range, the intermediate level, and that's where we're talking between $600 and $1,500.
In this range, often you're going to find all solid wood guitars, so again, they sound better. A lot of times they're going to have better quality woods so that they look better too. That's going to improve your tone, projection, and like I said, the look and the pride that you have with each of those instruments. You're also going to notice better craftsmanship setup. So again, the feel, how it is
they're able to
play,
spend a
the
little bit
shape
more
of the
time
neck.
customizing the setup for each instrument so that it is more easy to play the actual instrument you got in your hand.
So usually, it's very rare for anybody to see themselves jumping up to this next level and going, boy, I really wasted my money. Almost always you find that the value that you get back out of it is strong. And again, I understand there is a need for that other level of guitar, so I'm not saying everybody needs to jump up and do this, but if you're one of those people that's like, man, I'm really going to take this serious and I really want the best opportunity to get where I want to go, it's probably time to step it up into that next level.
And something I think we didn't really mention is like the hardware and components on this level. That's normally when you see a pretty big upgrade. They're saving money in some of that beginner entry level with
Tuners,
less quality tuners. The nut and saddle are not
yeah.
the same quality. So those things that make a pretty big difference when you're tuning it. If you can't keep it in tune or they're really rough turning tuners, they normally upgrade in this next price level.
Well, and I also pointed out another one, case, which is not just great for taking it out of the house and taking it places, but it actually helps you in maintaining the instrument, which will help with tuning stability, also making sure that it continues to perform the way it's supposed to for a long time.
All right, John, what is the next level after that beginner? Then we got the next level up from that. Then we get into...
This is where we get into the semi-pro, if not even pro-level instruments. These are instruments that you will see on stages. This is for serious guitar players, people that are really wanting to get the most out of their playing experience. Usually we're going to start getting to all solid woods that are a little bit more exotic. We're going to see better tone woods, premium tops, those kind of deals. Things are going to gain more playability and again, player satisfaction. You're going to notice what you put in is what you get back out of it. And that is very rewarding.
And then they normally can spend a little bit more time on ornamentation with it too. Better binding, some inlay patterns in it, some things that just make it, you can tell that the craftsmanship has stepped up a bit, and that's why the price has gone up too. More labor involved.
All right, now we're going to get into what I consider the premium stuff. This is your professional, if not boutique level instruments. These range anywhere from the $3,500s to $10,000. And you'll see quite a bit of it. Not all of them are just going to be fancy, but honestly, it's going to be just perfect workmanship. The playability will be set up for every single fret to feel right. It'll be the right height in order to not, if it's too low, it's going to buzz. If it's too high, it's going to be too hard to press down and get solid notes out of it. And it's not like you're going to see that in ranges of the neck. You're going to see that from the very top to the bottom. It's going to be comfortable, easy to play. It's going to perform everything that you want to put into it.
And many of these guitars in this level, the actual very skilled luthiers are spending a lot of time with the instrument even before they assemble it. When they got that top, they're spending a lot of hours tap toning it, voicing it, scalping the braces. And these guys, not only are you paying for the time they have as far as building this particular instrument, but the decades of experience that they are bringing to the table. There's a value in that. These guys are very skilled. They've been doing it for a long time. And they're putting some of their own craftsmanship into that instrument. And I remember McPherson saying that it takes 6 luthiers up to 6 months to build one guitar. Like they're putting time and effort in trying to make a perfect instrument. And along with that comes a pretty hefty price tag.
So in the end, everybody always asks us, how much should I spend on a guitar? So Jeremy, how much money should I spend?
You should spend all that you have.
I don't have.
For each
That's
person
the
that comes
problem.
to us, we say, well, it really depends. I mean, for the beginner player, we definitely recommend not going for the least expensive. Now, that may be the only option you have, and it may be something like, I want to do this, but I'm not sure I want to do it. Let me just try it out for a while and see if I stick with it. I understand that. So that beginner price range, you have good options there.
Yeah, and again, if you can, stretch it as far as you possibly can. And that's always a tough thing for us because all of you know that we do sell guitars and we hear it from you all the time. You guys are just a bunch of car salesmen trying to get us to spend more money.
But once you get the undercoating coverage and you also get the oil change package, no, it is honestly, you guys have all experienced it before. If you do and it makes a bigger difference in acoustic instruments than I think electrics even, because each piece of wood
made electric guys
well,
mad.
it's a block of wood, and pickups make a difference. But as far as acoustic guitars, that when you give a spec to a guitar, it makes a huge difference if your top is a dense top versus a soft top. So if you can go a little farther, you're going to see a difference, and I think you'll stick with it a little longer.
Yep. And for intermediate players, if you're committed to improving your tone and you want to get something that's going to take you to that next level, again, aim for that higher end price range. You are definitely going to find that you will elevate your playing ability by getting to that next level.
The last one, John, there's a large swath of people that do like these pricey instruments, and not all of them are pro musicians. In fact, most of our customers that do get into these are collectors. They're people that are hobbyists that have a good job. We have people all the time say, how can anybody spend that much on a guitar? Do you know how much bass fishing costs or how much it costs to do golf
photography,
or
any of that
model
stuff.
airplanes? Those things cost a fortune.
Absolutely.
So there are the hobbies that you get into. Guitar ownership is a very addictive one. You can find because there are so many beautiful instruments out there that do something different.
And I think that's another thing that we need to point out is what you just said. This is an art form, and every one of these instruments becomes your paintbrush. This is your color. And every one of these guitars, I can actually have a guitar with the same tone woods, the same body shape, and each one of them does a different thing for me as the player. And that has value to it too. So there is actually a well-documented need for guitar players to have multiple guitars in the high price range in order to create the art that they are trying to portray. As promised, here are the 5 key upgrades to look for when you're choosing your acoustic guitar. These upgrades all make the difference in tone, playability, as well as longevity.
First thing they should look for, John, a solid top. If you get into a solid top guitar, this is the single biggest upgrade for better tone, resonance. Takes a little bit more care and maintenance, but you're going to see a big difference.
Another one that I like a whole lot is a bone nut and saddle. Now this is the saddle, and this white part up here is the nut. There are synthetic materials that do a pretty good job, but I personally have yet to find anything that sounds better for sustain and tone transfer into the body of an instrument than bone nut and saddle. And that's a pricey upgrade. If it comes with that, grab it.
Now this one's really important, John. An adjustable neck. This long neck, what happens over time with the strings being pulled, they either pull it forward or as it gets too dry, it pulls backwards. And a lot of people will play an instrument and just hear like this buzz of the string hitting the frets. Nothing necessarily wrong with what you're doing, but when you push a string down, it's touching all the frets between there and the end of the guitar. Sure. So you want an adjustable truss rod, which is a rod that runs inside of that neck, and you put a little wrench inside the guitar. You can adjust that, and really, you need to do it just about every seasonal change. But if your guitar does not have a way to adjust it, then once it gets to that part where it's buzzing or you can't play it, there's no fixing it.
That's true. Another thing that a lot of great guitars have is a limited lifetime warranty. That's a pretty good deal, and it can actually save you a lot. Again, it is wood. There are some things that are beyond control when they're manufacturing that don't show up for a time period. And again, if you're taking care of your instrument, most of these companies will take care of this guitar if they have a defect. Now, when I say taking care of it, I also want you to make sure to do that because that means no cold. Don't leave it in your car when it's cold. Don't leave it out when it's extremely hot either. And last, make sure you humidify it because all wood guitars need to be humidified.
The last one, John, that's very important to be looking for is wherever you buy from, make sure that they have a generous return / trial period. You want to make sure once you get the guitar home, you can play it in the store or you can have it shipped to you, but you want to spend time with it in your home. Play on it for a while, make sure that it's the right one for you, and you don't feel that pressure of, oh, I got to return this the next day, or I just bought an instrument and I'm stuck with it. You want to be able to decide, is this the right instrument for me? You might play it for a while and go, you know what, maybe I can upgrade to that next one. I think I want to try the all solid wood. Make sure you got a good, generous return policy. At the Acoustic Shop, we have the Dreadnought Guarantee, where you'll get 30-day return for any instrument over $1,000, plus up to a full year to decide if it's the right one for you.
Yeah,
you can play it for a while and say, you know what, I think I'm ready for that better instrument. Trade it in for up to 90% of the value that you purchased it for.
Yeah, and not only that, but make sure that dealer is well-known and well-respected in order to make sure it is set up and ready to roll on its way out. Again, all these guitars are going to continually need maintenance and adjustments, and if they're sitting in a warehouse somewhere, it can be tough to get a guitar to you that sounds right and plays correctly, even if it's by a top name brand. So again, make sure that dealer is well respected and able to make sure that it is ready, play ready as soon as it gets to you.
All right, now the moment they've all been waiting for, John. We are going to demo the most affordable guitar in our shop and compare it to the most expensive guitar we have. Listen closely and tell us if you can tell the difference in the comments below. What do you guys think? Can you tell the difference, and is it worth the price difference?
Well, there you have it, everybody. Finding an acoustic guitar does not have to be overwhelming. There are lots of great options out there, and if this helped you at all, you know,
We've done our job.
Yeah.
And if you guys did like this video and enjoy it, please subscribe to the channel. We do all kinds of guitar reviews, mandolin reviews, banjo reviews, all kinds of anything acoustic.
That thumbs up.
Yeah, please give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. It takes only a moment of your time, and it really helps us to grow this channel. It helps us to keep Trent on payroll, and he's expensive but worth it.
So much Mountain Dew, so many chips.
But also, if you did enjoy this video, we just recently made the ultimate guitar buyer's guide where we tried out a bunch of guitars and gave you some advice on picking the right one for you. Be sure to check that out, and we'll see you in the next video.